to Personal Finance 101 with Professor Billy Bean of Perfect Timing Media. If you have any other personal finance questions, I love making these videos. I did that all through college. And there's various topics and so much I could talk about. But first, I think the foundation of all of this is just the time value of money and the importance of investing, in putting money away and being disciplined. So to understand the time value of money, you have to understand that your money depreciates with the rate of inflation. So contrary to popular belief, inflation is actually a good thing. Around 2% is the benchmark that the Federal Reserve uses. Basically, inflation, if you don't have inflation, you don't have people spending money, you don't have your employees and your employers growing. And if you don't have inflation, it's most likely because you have deflation, and that's really bad. Topic for another day. Anyway, the importance of investing is to understand the time value of money and to understand that if you don't invest your money, it's going to depreciate with the time that you have it in cash. So for example, we have two different people here. Person A invests $1,000 at 7% into a mutual fund, a stock, whatever. Benchmark is the S&P 500 that returns around 7% every single year. The S&P 500, another wormhole I could go into, is basically just the biggest 500 biggest companies in the U.S. economy. Option B is the person gets that lump sum of $1,000 in cash and decides they want to hold on to it. They're going to save it up. They're going to save it for buying a car next year, or they're going to put it towards a vacation, XYZ. So who do you think will have more money after 5 years? We'll do a little calculation, but even after 1 year, it's pretty clear to see the direction that we're going in. So person A, they invest this $1,000 lump sum into the S&P 500. So we're going to do $1,000, and that's going to be times 1 point. This is your interest rate, or your investment rate, which is 7% times 1. So even after 1 year, that $1,000 you put away is already worth $70 more than it was a year ago. Say the person who puts this money away, they're at the rate of inflation, which is around 2% every single year. And after 1 year, that $1,000 that they have is now worth $980. You can kind of see the direction that we're going in already. See, after 5 years, there's your average rate, which is 7%. And then 5 years. So that $1,000 that you just let sit for 5 years, that gained an interest rate of 7%, that gained $400. And you didn't do anything with it. It just sat there. What is that $1,000 worth after 5 years of sitting in this person's bank account? Here's our inflation rate, 2%. To the fifth, $903. So there's a difference of $500. They both sat in the person's account, didn't do anything, they just forgot about it. This person's $1,000 is now worth $1,400. This person's $1,000 is worth $903. You can kind of get where I'm going at. If your money is not invested, if it's just sitting there in your savings account, it's just depreciating. Versus if it's sitting in a brokerage, it's appreciating. Obviously, some savings is necessary for emergency funds and whatnot to make it, in case you need like money quick, have something liquid in case you like get in a car accident or not, or like your emergency fund. That's important, but if you're just solely looking at gaining money over time for retirement, it's pretty clear of what we're going at. So if we're investing versus saving, like I said before, the annual return in the S&P 500 is around 7%. And your savings return, I'm being generous, it's 0%. It's really negative 2%. Anyway, so year one, say you do $3,000 a year into a retirement account. That is around $250 per month. So for $250 per month, in 5 years, your $3,000 is now turned into $17,000. If we go from 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, just $250 a month for 20 years at a 7% rate, $122,000. All the way to 50 years, our $3,000 a year for 50 years, we're getting at $1.2 million. So Jimmy, you might say, Jimbo, I'm putting in all this money, like how much is it really investing and how much is it gaining interest? So $3,000 times 50. Whoops. 150 grand. Still a pretty good portion. My fault. But we're gaining almost over $1 million in just compound interest. That is actually insane. Say that another person is just saving $3,000 a year. After 3 years, at $3,000, $9 grand. After 20 years, 60 grand. After 50 years, 150 grand. See, we're saving all this money. 150 grand, that's still a good chunk. However, in comparison to our $1.2 million, you're still missing out on $1 million, guys. This is how important it is. Even if you're just putting $1,000 away a year, all of this is interest. And all of this is you're gaining interest the second you put it in. And I haven't even done the calculation on how much this costs with inflation. We're going to do it real quick. $50,000. So this $150,000 that you saved after 50 years only has the purchasing power of today's dollars in $54,000. So this $150,000 in 50 years is worth in purchasing power today only 54 grand. Where in comparison, this that's the wrong number. This $1.2 million after 50 years has the purchasing power of $444,000. So you can see what investing does. Although it's not going to be the purchasing power of $1.2 million, your money is outpacing inflation. So you're really, although you're not gaining all of this money, you're way farther ahead than what you would if you didn't invest at all. So here's a little graph that I made real quick of someone who starts investing at 26 versus 35, so a 9-year difference. This 9 years, because of compound interest, you're gaining, if you invest at 26, investing $7,000 a year, which is about $500 a month, you're getting $1.3 million at 65, versus if you just waited 9 more years, $700,000. That's almost half of the difference just made up in these 9 years right here. And here's this graph. Just shows the exponential growth that investing early has on your retirement funds.